My name is Luke Warford, and I support Progress Texas because I think as Democrats, we need to be winning the messaging battle. I think Progress Texas is one of the leading organizations trying to fight that battle, and we need to do that to win up and down the ballot for Democrats going forward.
It's Monday, December 1st, 2025, and this is the Progress Texas Daily Dispatch, rapid response on the breaking news stories Texas progressives need to know. I'm Chris Mosier. Well, the Thanksgiving week ended without a call on the Texas congressional map from the U.S. Supreme Court, and the wait continues. As of this morning, Jack Fink at CBS News talked to Dr. Bill Criss at the Texas Center for Legal Ethics, and he's pretty sure we're stuck with the 2025 map, especially if SCOTUS extends Associate Justice Sam Alito's stay on the 2-1 decision against the new map from that panel of judges in El Paso from a couple of weeks back now. Both Texas Democratic Party Chair Kendall Scudder and Texas Republican Party Chair Abraham George have told CBS that they consider the 2025 congressional map to be in place for next year's elections. Meanwhile, Benjamin Siegel at ABC News writes that even with that new Texas map standing, what seemed like a sure thing for Trump's GOP to prevail in the redistricting war is no longer anywhere near a sure thing. As California's Prop 50 takes effect, Democratic overperformance in Virginia and New Jersey casts serious doubt on the durability of Republican support among Latinos. And speaking of Virginia, their legislature greenlighting its Democrats to redraw their maps next year. That could net as many as 3 new blue seats. In Utah, a GOP redistricting plan failed and appears to have guaranteed a solidly Democratic seat for Salt Lake City. Democrats in New York are challenging a state constitutional amendment, and if they win, an additional House seat around New York City likely flips blue, and GOP prospects are also dimming into Indiana and Wisconsin. Meanwhile, this week back in Texas, a stark example of what happens when hyper-partisan Republicans are running the show, as Senate Bill 8, the bathroom bill, will take effect on Thursday. Aiden Runnels at the Texas Tribune writes that the new law restricts transgender Texans' access to certain multi-stall restrooms, showers, and changing rooms in public facilities. After more than a decade of Republican efforts to pass such a measure, the new law will now impose sex-assigned at-birth requirements in public buildings, schools, universities, prisons, and certain family violence shelters. The new restrictions apply only to facilities owned by political subdivisions and state agencies, including county and city buildings, public schools and charters, and public universities. SB 8 requires Texas prisons to house inmates based on sex assigned at birth, which current practice already follows. Shelters designed specifically for female victims may serve only those who were female at birth, though federal grant rules may exempt many shelters from that specific provision. The new bathroom law puts enforcement on the institutions in charge of the bathrooms themselves, requiring them to take, quote, every reasonable step, unquote, to ensure compliance, but the law gives no specific enforcement method. So SB 8's lack of clear enforcement guidance most definitely will allow for overenthusiastic and intrusive monitoring or harassment by whatever potty police a given institution decides to mount. While physical inspections were dismissed by lawmakers as being outside the scope of reasonable steps, it's important to note that the language in the statute does not explicitly forbid building administrators to ask suspected violators to drop their drawers. Institutions found to be insufficiently zealous about enforcing the new bathroom law can face heavy fines, $25,000 for the first violation and $125,000 per day thereafter. Shouldn't be long before stories of individual abuse under the bathroom bill begin to surface. So you may have heard that a 6th Texas Republican congressman has decided not to run for re-election. This time it's Troy Nehls of Fort Bend County. He says he won't run again for CD 22. But before you get too excited about being rid of one of the most meat-headed MAGA types in Texas, here's the weird part. Who knew that Troy Nehls has an identical twin brother? And that twin brother has decided to run for Troy's seat. Trevor Nehls has served as a constable in Fort Bend County and took shots at both county sheriff and county judge positions, both of which he lost. Such weirdness might initially seem an opportunity for a strong Democratic candidate, but CD22 under the new 2025 map is even redder than it was before. Andrew Schneider at Houston Public Media says Texas Republicans especially targeted the large and rapidly growing Asian American population of the area, cracking their influence in the process of strengthening CD22 for the GOP. Perhaps a Republican who's a lot less goofy than the Nelses, might wade in here. We'll see. The other 5 Republican congressmen not running in 2026 for their current seats are Wesley Hunt of Houston, who's running for the Senate, Chip Roy of Austin, who's running for Texas Attorney General, and Jody Arrington of Lubbock, Morgan Luttrell of Magnolia, and Michael McCall of Austin, all of whom have yet to announce their next moves. Here at Progress Texas, we're gearing up for both of our 2 holiday parties over the next couple of weeks. The first on Monday, December 8th in Austin, 1 week from today, and the second the following Monday, December 15th in Dallas, both for the first time featuring live podcast recordings with a bunch of our most influential movers and shakers. In Austin, our Pod panel will feature State Senator and Congressional candidate Sarah Eckhart, State Rep and candidate for Lieutenant Governor Vicki Goodwin, and State Senator Roland Gutierrez. In Dallas, we've got State Rep and gubernatorial candidate Gina Hinojosa, candidate for Attorney General Joe Jaworski, Tarrant County State Senate candidate Taylor Ramette, and Texas House Minority Leader Gene Wu. Sponsorships are available, and so far our holiday parties are brought to you by Shaping the Future supporter Charles Zeller, Fired Up supporter John Adair, Be the Change supporters Alex Andrade, Scott Elphinstone, Howard Cleon, and the Honorable Dick Levine. Persistence supporters the Honorable Yasmin Simon, Jason Smith and Sarah Pareda, Unified, and Jerry Yoss. Good Trouble supporters Allison Grinter Allen, Bright Blue Inc., Alex Clark, and Kate Rumsey, hosts of the Mission Texas podcast. Valerie DeBille, the Honorable Vicki Goodwin, Joe Jaworski, the Honorable Ron Nierenberg, and Mark Yagdjian. And Raise More Hell supporters Louis A. Bedford IV, Stuart Campbell, Hannah Cutshaw, Bill Holston, the Honorable Donna Howard, Will Judy, Angela and Gary Kutak, Jenny Laughlin, Carol Orr, Jennifer Owen, Mark Ferris, the Honorable Zoe Kadri, Beth Stromberg, the Honorable Adam Swartz, and the Texas Progressive Caucus. Our mission at Progress Texas is to counter the billionaire and corporate-funded conservative disinformation machine, and we rely largely on listener support to keep doing what we do. While we enjoy the support of hundreds of partners, chances are that you, dear listener, haven't yet joined the team. If you're a regular, let's get you on board, like Edith Frost, Landy DeGuire, and Janet Gilmore all are. We appreciate all of you very much. Join the team now at progresstexas.org, and while you're at the website, grab the merch to match your progressive values and those of the Texans on your holiday gift list at our web store, including our newly expanded Humans Against Greg Abbott collection of t-shirts, stickers, and yard signs. Greg's got to go in 26, so let's go, y'all. All that and lots more at progresstexas.org. That's the Progress Texas Daily Dispatch for this Monday, December 1st, 2025. Links to all these original stories can be found in our show notes. Progress Texas is a nonprofit rapid response media organization promoting progressive messages and actions. While campaigns come and go, we're the permanent home for progressive media and action in the Lone Star State. I'm Chris Mosier. Thanks so much for listening. Have a terrific day and a great week, and we'll see you again tomorrow morning.